Good evening, Douglas County. This is Jeremiah on the Easy Does It Transportation podcast. And we've been talking about the Southern Arc. And I've given this a lot of thought as the discussion continues, and it's really getting to be a vibrant discussion. A lot of people's awareness is really growing, and I just wanted to do another sort of what is the Southern Arc and why should I care kind of video, and maybe just sort of bring some context and try to also boil down the salient points, the main points on this thing, why it really matters. First, just what is the Southern Arc? We're just going to say that, the Southern Arc is this roadway that goes from Lee Road here on Interstate 20 and comes down, crosses Fairburn Road, comes down across, and then there's a connector. This is the big deal. This is what's under consideration. Big deal right now. And then this Pope and Beaumont Road intersection will turn into a big roundabout. 4 lanes coming into these 2-lane roads. And then this is intended to be, they say a 3-lane road. It probably would be a 3-lane road, only because you have so many houses on this road. To divide the highway would be just egregious. It would be impossible. But it would be desired to put divided highways, but there's so many. It's just such a residential area. And again, a 3-lane road is not for a residential area. Anyway, it'll come across, intercept Chapel Hill, and then it'll continue over through Bill Arp, okay? And that's the Southern Arc. And it's intended really, as we met, with Douglas County, here earlier this week, it's really intended to reduce congestion on I-20. Okay, it's intended to relieve all that traffic going up Bill Arp and Highway 5 to 20. And again, sort of my fundamentals on the assets and the operations of our transportation facilities is that Bill Arp and Chapel Hill need to be improved. They are in failure. The roadways are fundamentally not working, and they need to be improved. And we can do this by widening Chapel Hill, and then providing a turn lanes down both roads, allowing more left-hand turn movements, as well as investing in traffic signals. Traffic signals are expensive, but you get what you pay for. If you were in Chapel Hill and Douglas Boulevard today, like I was, man, spend the money, okay? We need more traffic controls down Chapel Hill to get the traffic flowing. It's worth it. So my solution, my recommendation is that we invest in Chapel Hill right here and provide 4 lanes, turning lanes, and adequate signaling, as well as on Bill Arp. We need to get rid of these medians, and we need to get some turning lanes in there and get that capacity flowing. The larger issue is to provide, really to provide capacity along Veterans Memorial. Okay, that's kind of a big deal. When you get to Cobb County, I've got the county boundaries here. When you get to Cobb County, this roadway turns into a 5-lane road. Let me see if I can pull up a good map of that for you. Let's see, Veterans Memorial. So that's here. Okay, so here's Veterans Memorial right here. Let me turn on the road names for you. Okay, so this is US 78, and this is US 78. Same roadway. Let me turn those road names back off. This is a 2-lane road. It's a 2-lane road that goes into a 5-lane road. And, folks say, hey, well, Cobb County has more traffic. Look, the traffic doesn't change just like that over one roadway. I agree that Cobb County has more traffic in some areas. Okay, so, I maintain that Bill Arp, Chapel Hill need to be improved, and that we need to add capacity to Veterans Memorial, and that we also really need to talk about an Interstate 20 expansion, okay? So I didn't draw it on here. Bill Arp and Chapel Hill, maybe I'll get those drawn in for next time. Um, so I want to talk about, so those are the solutions that we need to create the fluidity and mobility. Now I want to talk about the fiscal uh, aspect of this, the financial obligation. Okay, $40 million to build this road. Folks, that's $40 million to turn Douglas County into a more valuable and desirable community, to add value to our property, our county. Okay, just being able to avoid traffic doesn't add value. I agree that congestion is diminishing a value, but again, correcting congestion means correcting the roads that the congestion is on, not creating other roads in areas that stand to diminish the value. That's really short-sighted to say, hey, yeah, let's spend our resources building out this big road, and if it hurts their property value, hey, it improves fluidity, and so overall our community is better served. That's a really short-sighted kind of view. We need to just make the roads that are congested be able to handle the traffic and use our $40 million. This is a county facility, folks. The Southern Arc is a county facility. This I-20 and this US 78, those are state facilities. Those are federal funds, okay? So if you want to have nice pavement, nice striping, you want to have nice sidewalks, that kind of thing, that's going to be done with county dollars. The federals don't really get into that unless there's kind of like it's part of an improvement and a major expansion or something. So we need to use our money wisely. We don't have a lot. This came from a SPLOST. We can't just keep doing SPLOST. I think we're paying like a 0.5% sales tax, additional sales tax to fund this, okay? All right, so fiscally, it's irresponsible because we need those precious dollars to maintain our local roads, to enhance their functioning, to enhance their appeal, to add value to our community. Okay, we put that money in not so that the state assets of I-20 and 78 can defer their investment. So that's from a standpoint of financial policy, financial transportation policy. So the operations of Bill Arp and Chapel Hill and I-20 and 78, they all need to be improved. Okay, they absolutely need to be improved. That's what needs to happen. We don't need to create the Bomar connector to I-20. Basically, this is going to be the world's longest off-ramp. It's just that is so ridiculous. And it's going to be just the world's longest interstate ramp. Okay, it's just extending the Lee Road exit all the way out to here. That's what's happening, folks. We don't need that. This is a bedroom community. All of this is residential. We need to protect that residential nature. Now, I want to get into one other aspect of this. All right, this is really kind of cool. Now I'm going to nerd out on some transportation stuff with you. I'm going to, let me turn some of this off. I want to talk about the context of US 78, and I also want to talk about the context of Highway 5. So long before the interstate, you can see Highway 5 down here, and I'm gonna turn this on. Turn on a feature here. Let me locate it. Okay, here we go. Highway 5. That's Highway 5. Okay, that's Highway 5. And what's interesting is I want people to think about this. Highway 5 is a primary route. It was a primary route before the interstates. US 78 was a primary route before the interstates. Both of those have been upgraded in Cobb County, and both of those have been really neglected in Douglas County. I want to show you, and this was really eye-opening for me, I want to show you how this facility has improved down through the years. Now this is US 78, and let me turn off the Southern Arc, and I just want to mention just historical context of transportation. This is what we call a jog. Okay, State Route 5 is coming down and it gets on US 78 and they converge and they run together like this, and then it continues, State Route continues on its way down south. Okay, so that's kind of how it looks. State Route 5 and Highway 78. Okay, just take this in. All right, State Route 5 goes to Marietta, and it comes down here to the state of Alabama. Now, it's not uncommon for these what you call a jog, where one road runs on another, runs through town. That's just the transportation philosophy that was employed for a long time, and even when we built the interstates, you can see it where 75 comes down, 85 come down, and they jog together through the downtown connector, and then 85 continues southwest and 75 continues southeast. It's also true before the interstates and before US Highway 78 and State Route 5, the railroad actually also came down much like 85, and then there was another route that's kind of like 75, except for when they ran on each other, when they merged together, they do that in an east-west fashion, from Howell Y out to Austell, and they run on the same sort of corridor, and then they split off at Austell. So they come together at Howell Y and split off at Austell. It's a very common practice to see two roads converge to go through a town, and we call that a jog. Okay, so that's what Douglasville has here. And you got two primary routes right here, and they've just not been updated. The fact that this route is still 2 lanes is just an expression of the lack of investment in Douglasville. Okay, now guys, this is where I want to turn on a layer, the interstates. Okay, I want to show you, this is the interstates in and around Atlanta. Look at what happens up here. Do you see that? Look where Highway 5 goes, first of all. It goes up to Blue Ridge. And that's how I noticed. I was up there working. I was like, Highway 5? I said, is that the same one in Douglasville? And it is indeed. It goes to Blue Ridge, Ella J. Okay, this is Highway 5. All right, look how Highway 5 has been developed in Cherokee County. Look at this. Do you see this? Folks, this is 575. I'm going to turn this off for a second so you can see it. You see that? 575. Interstate 575. Now, if you're not familiar with this, Georgia, if you're new to Douglasville, Georgia, take a look at your property values in Holly Springs and in Canton and in Ball Ground and in Woodstock. Look at those property values, but look. Highway 5, State Route Highway 5 has been developed into a major interstate. Okay, in Marietta, I noticed that it actually broke up here, and I didn't highlight US 41. I think they probably jogged on each other for a while. But man, they just, the way Marietta grew, they just kind of took an eraser in here and just started to recreate things. And it just kind of gets to be its own thing here. And it works. I mean, Marietta works. It's fluid. It's flowing. They've got 75. Really, Highway 5 really is kind of 75-ish right there. Okay, so all these roads are State Route, 5, and these are state funded routes. But when you come down here to Douglasville, guys, US 78 and State Route 5 is completely undeveloped. So where I'm telling you that we need I-20 to be 5 lanes, up here at Highway 5, up here in Cherokee County, Highway 5 has been turned into an interstate through the whole county. Okay, right here where Highway 5 is in Cobb County, you've got 2 interstates. You've got 575 and you've got 75. Okay, folks. So what I want you to think about is our community, how it's developed, how it has not developed, how it's been underdeveloped, how we need to develop our community. We need to improve US 78 federal state dollars. We need to improve State Route 5 state dollars. We need to improve I-20 federal dollars. Okay, guys, we have limited local funds. All right, we have limited local funds, and those funds need to be used for maintenance, traffic improvements, making things kind of nicer with sidewalks, to basically subsidize this Highway 78 and this I-20 corridor with our local dollars. Folks, that is bad fiscal policy. That is bad transportation operations. And this Southern Arc is a bad deal for Douglas County. It's a great deal for Cobb County. It's a great deal for Cherokee County and all the other counties that want those federal dollars. Okay? All those other counties that want to get that interstate money or that U.S. highway money, because there's highways going through all these counties. Okay, there's federal routes and state routes all over the place, and all the other counties want that money as well. Listen, Douglas County deserves it. We need it, not just because there's an affluent residential base here, not only because of that, not only because we're a lot of people, but also, look, I just want to show you this one last thing and I'll let you go. Thank you so much for your time and watching, but look at all of these white boxes. Look at this intermodal facility, Norfolk Southern. Big facilities, big truck traffic, lots of truck traffic. Okay, look where the Lee Road, look. In the proximity, this is Thornton Road. Thornton Road, Fulton Industrial Boulevard, incredible. I mean, this is the airport. Look how big, look at the scale of the truck traffic in our area. And we got 3 lanes of I-20. Folks, we need the investment. We deserve the investment. Do not settle for less. Take our $20 million and make our local roads look nice and flow nice. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Please take the survey. Please stay engaged. Take the survey. Give me your email address. I'll be giving you form letters how to send out and communicate to our county, to our state and federal representatives to basically say, hey, look, we need transportation investment in Douglas County. We're worth it. We deserve it. We're high quality citizens. We're tax paying citizens. We're the working based citizens. We facilitate the freight transfer of Atlanta in the national logistics market. Guys, we deserve it. This Southern Arc, listen, the Southern Arc is nothing short of a subsidy for this federal Interstate 20 and federal Highway 78. We got some nice assets in Douglasville. Let's invest in them. Let's expect our state and our federal government to invest in them. Let's protect our bedroom community. Let's not expand it too much. All right. Thanks for watching. Stay engaged. Stay informed. Please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you.